Alright, so in this video, I'm going to try to tackle two different issues. We're going to talk about two different things here because I think they go hand in hand with each other. And the reason that I am making this video today is because I was in my car just a few days ago and I was listening to the Glenn Beck radio show. Yes, I know, horrible. Throw up now if you must. I was listening to the Glenn Beck radio show. Also, I'm not going to play the clip. There's no clip I'm going to play today. But I was listening to Glenn Beck because I like to listen to the conservative mis and disinformation machine so I can know how to best combat it. I was listening to Glenn Beck and he said that the leading cause of death in the world is abortion and has been for 5 years, and the total amount of abortions combined beats out the next 5 leading causes of death below it, which I knew was a fucking lie. It was a laughable lie at that. I knew right then when he said it was a lie, but I've been thinking about what he said a lot. I was really thinking about that, and this is something that I've said on the channel, but I guess I've never really made like a whole video about it. You cannot be pro-life and anti-gun legislation. You can't be pro-gun and be pro-life. And before we get into the nitty-gritty of all of these things here, I just want to say that I think the terminology needs to change. When we call people that are anti-abortion, anti-women's choice, we need to stop calling them pro-life. That's not what it is. That is, it, to me, when I hear the term pro-life, that implies that being pro-abortion is pro-death and pro-murder, which is literally what people that are anti-abortion think. They think that they're murdering babies, which is something really interesting that we're definitely going to talk about. We're definitely going to talk about that later in the video. Can't wait for that. But yes, I think that needs to change. I think that terminology just needs to pro-life. We're getting rid of that word. I'm going to make it happen somehow, one way or another. We're not using that term anymore because that's not an appropriate term to use. But this is something I've said many times on the channel. The leading cause of death amongst children and adolescents is literally firearms, okay? So that right there, we're going to examine this chart here in a second. That right there should tell you right then and there that if you're really if you're anti-women choosing to have an abortion, if you're anti-choice, because that's I guess that's the term I'm going to start using. If you're anti-choice, you cannot be pro-firearm because that's the leading cause of death amongst children in this country. And these stats only go to 2020, but even now, it's only getting worse. It's not getting better, and it's not going to get better. Leading causes of death among children and adolescents in the United States, 1999 through 2020. The chart starts at 1999. You guys can't see it down there, but that's where it starts. As you can see, with the exception of a very short period right in here, firearm related injuries amongst adolescents and children has risen steadily, and it surpassed motor vehicle crashes. More children in this country die from guns than they do fucking car accidents, which is crazy. That's wild. Something else that I think needs to be pointed out here is the amount of guns that are in this country. Now, there's never going to be an exact, accurate, 100% right number of guns in this country because it's not realistic. There are weapons in this country that, people don't have the right to have or are illegal, not registered, serial number scratched off, whatever. There's so many different things that go into this number, which is, again, I think, and this is something I absolutely believe, we need to have a firearm registry. If you own a gun, you need to have your goddamn name on a registry somewhere. I also have some really strong opinions about guns, but that's a video for a different day, definitely. But since this is the Trace, they're a really great organization. They say since 1899, there have been at least 494 million guns produced and imported for the U.S. market. Applying one researcher's estimation of a 1% rate of attrition would result in 377.9 million guns left in circulation. That's more people than we have in this country. That's not normal, okay? That's not normal at all. We should not have more guns in this country than we fucking do human beings, because that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. And again, something else that you need to look at, which you can absolutely look at, is the rate at which this happens in other countries, because it doesn't really happen in other countries. In other countries, this isn't something that really happens, and I guess I don't even have it pulled up here. But in other countries, if in high-income nations, you guys can go and look at the mortality rates for children and adolescents. We are the only country that has a rate of children dying at which they do We are the only high-income nation where stuff like this happens. We're the only high-income nation where we have mass shootings regularly. But again, the point of this is, all of this is to say, you cannot, and I mean you cannot, be anti-choice and also pro-gun. It's 100% hypocritical in every single way possible. It's the definition of hypocrisy. There is no justification for someone saying, "Oh yeah, I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm pro gun. Yeah, I love my guns," and then also turning around and saying, "Well, you know, I'm anti-choice. I'm anti-abortion. I don't think women should have the right to choose if they have an abortion or not." If guns are the leading cause of death, if you say you really care about the children, if you really care about saving lives, then you would support you would support sweeping gun legislation. There are so many things that we need to change when it comes to the gun laws. Again, I'm not trying to get into just all specific about gun laws in this video, but something else that I do want to talk about is the argument that abortion is murder. So this is not a secret. This is a very well-known fact. The vast majority of abortions that take place, 93%, let's be exact here, 93% of abortions take place in the first trimester, okay? That is 100% true. I'm trying to find it here. I had it pulled up and then I just totally lost it. Okay, yes, here it is. This is Pew Research using numbers from the CDC. The vast majority of abortions occur during the first trimester of a pregnancy. In 2020, 93% of abortions occurred during the first trimester. Now, I'm a fucking idiot. I had to look this up because I don't know how to do numbers. I had to look up how long trimesters are because I'm fucking stupid. The first trimester of a woman's pregnancy is from week 1 to the end of week 12. 93% of abortions happen within this week 1 to week 12 window. And what does it say about babies that are born even at 24 weeks? It says that in general, infants that are born very early are not considered to be viable until after 24 weeks gestation. Babies cannot survive at 12 weeks. They can't. It's impossible. So, again, they say abortion is murder. If there is, number one, there's so many different reasons that people get abortions, okay? I can't sit there and be like, you know, everyone's getting an abortion for this or that, because that's just not realistic, and it's not. But when you look at the numbers, which say that, again, 93% of abortions occurred during the first trimester, and the fact that the first trimester is only 12 weeks, we know for a fact that your baby is not going to survive at 12 weeks. So when the vast majority of abortions are happening in the first 12 weeks, and we have Republican governors that are signing abortion bans, bans on abortions for like a 6-week abortion law, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They say it's murder. It's not fucking murder. The goddamn baby won't be able to survive at this rate. The rate in which abortions occur, an additional 6% between 14 and 20 weeks. These babies will not survive. If you go in and rip out a fetus at 12 weeks, there's nothing. There's not going to be anything there. So it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to me to see these stupid ass, disgusting fucking legislation that's being passed, and then also these people that run around and say that they're pro freedom. They say that they're anti-murdering babies. They say that they're pro-gun. They're just all fucking hypocrites. I'm very frustrated right now with the amount of hypocrisy that I see take place amongst, according to them, Americans that love this country, right? Americans that, want to put America first, whatever the fuck that means. It's not like we don't do that every fucking time. We've only ever done that. We've only ever put America first. I cannot. Sometimes I look at what the fuck is going on in this country and I'm like, you want to know what? This isn't fixable. It's not savable. I don't think that, but sometimes I look and I'm like, I mean, we've become pretty dystopian, I think. Maybe that's just because I'm young and I've finally started understanding and caring about these issues. Again, I used to be Used to be a conservative. Don't even know how I used to do like that. Don't even know how I used to be like that. It was bad. It was bad. And the last thing that I guess I want to say in this video, which I didn't really touch on everything that I wanted to touch on necessarily, at least not in the most coherent way. I know I've been all over the place in this video, is the Second Amendment and what it says, because I think that everyone likes to just apply their own definition, stretch the definition of what it says, do whatever. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, most people, again, most people on the right, take the last part of this, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, as I get guns. That means I have gun. That means I get gun. No, that's not what that means. There is nothing in this amendment that states you get a firearm. You get to have a firearm. Firearms are very, very unregulated in this country. A big reason for that is because, Republicans. But one of the biggest reasons that we don't have gun regulation in this country is because of gun lobbyists. And I don't have this pulled up right now, but you guys can go and look it up. There's a really, really great list. I don't know where it's at. But if you go and look at the amount of lobbyist money, especially Republican politicians have received, it is it's incredible. It's really, really incredible. I think Mitt Romney tops the list. He's received over $10 million in lobbyist money from gun groups. That is, I mean, we shouldn't be allowing anyone to lobby in our government, but when it comes to this, I mean, I feel like this is just insanity. It says in the first part right here, everyone likes to talk about the second part, a well-regulated militia, well-regulated. Why do they not like to bring up that shit? Why don't they bring up that fucking part? Guns aren't regulated in this country to any degree. We don't have a gun registry. We fucking let people that are way too young get firearms. You can fucking, if a background check doesn't complete in 3 days, gun sellers can still sell you a gun. You can do a private sale. There's so many goddamn exploitable loopholes with the laws that we have now. As people say, oh, red flag laws. Those don't work. If those worked, a bunch of the mass shootings that we've seen would have fucking not happened if red flag laws worked. I'm getting really emotional about this right now. So that's where I'm going to leave the video. I feel like I've said everything that I can say. Again, I know this was a video. It was a little weird. We didn't play a clip, didn't watch a video. Kind of touching on two issues, which are different, but I think, again, they go hand in hand. And again, everyone watching this video, I'm serious about this. If you made it to the end of the video, congratulations, by the way. I've been rambling for a little bit now. If you made it to the end of the video, I'm serious. No more pro-life. Don't say that shit, because that's not it. That's not accurate, and I think that is a bullshit term to use. So we're not using pro-life anymore. Anti-choice is the words we're going to use now. So I'm counting on you. I'm talking to you. But that's going to be it for the video. Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, press that little bell, turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload.